Star Trek Lower Decks Review, Season 4, Episode 2. So...
Oopsie.
you,
See,
oh,
the
yeah.
cute. You know what that reminds me of? Like, I'm sure it is a reference to it. Monty Python.
Oh, oh yeah, the little
The
rabbit.
killer bunny rabbits.
It's just a wee bunny.
It's not a wee bunny. It's a killer bunny.
But
How does one drink? How do you drink bones? Oh, like that.
You know, it's funny. This is like the third bone drinking alien I've seen in a space show. The first one was in Farscape. The second one was in an episode of Futurama, and now this one.
Probably where they got the idea.
Probably, yeah.
yeah.
Although
Well, the meme of little tiny cute thing with massive appetite is, that's sort of a thing that pops up because it's funny. It's you're expecting this, so I'm going to twist your expectations by saying, you're expecting this thing to be just cute and cuddly and bouncing around. It's like, no. This thing's incredibly dangerous. Monty Python has done it. There's lots of shows have done that sort of thing where they play with expectations. Like, it's Oopsie. Oh, that's the most terrifying thing in this.
Yep. Although, starting from the beginning, those were the most caricature Romulans ever.
Yeah.
They were the most, like, parody Romulans. They made so much fun. That is like sitcom Romulans, okay?
Yeah, that's
Like
some
if
of the
Starfleet
show.
if Starfleet did a sitcom, that is what they would. If the Federation had made a hollow comedy, that's what they would assume Romulans were like.
Yeah. Well, that's this entire show is let's take one thing in Star Trek and turn it up to 11. It's like, yeah. Sometimes they do it. Sometimes they do that. They'll go up go to 11 on things like the Vulcans being it's like very deadpan the entire time. Just solid on that. And then you got the Packlids, which yes, they're not the sharpest tool in the universe, but
those were pretty on point, to be fair.
I think they like they're not the brightest thing, but they're usually not that bad.
Yeah, but they weren't that stupid. I mean, they had a whole conspiracy. They outsmarted the Federation by using their own stupidity. They played on their stereotype to totally punk the Federation.
But
the captain almost got arrested. Well, did get arrested and almost got sentenced because the Packlids outsmarted everybody.
But anyway, but yeah, they do tend to take things to 11, or completely subvert them. You're expecting this from this species. Oh, we're gonna flip it on its head. Like Orions they've usually been shown in one particular way, and Tendi is basically the opposite of what you've been expecting, except when she's not.
Yeah.
She's 99% of the time, she is the exact opposite of what you expect from Orion.
Except when she's that winter dominatrix chick.
when she needs to go pirate mode, then yeah, she can go full on Orion stereotype, but like most of the time she's she's that. But I'm guessing. Let's see now. Oh yeah, now we have everybody's been promoted at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because I love the fact that he's like, I'm gonna work my butt off to get promoted today. You don't. That's not how it works. Oh yeah, it is. And then he's like, I feel bad about turning down all those promotions.
I knew something was weird about him not being promoted.
Yeah.
Wait, what? What? You turned down all those promotions? Well, yeah, I got I was offered promotion for this, for this, for this. That makes me wonder, though, if he was able to turn down all those promotions, why wasn't Mariner able to?
Well, some of her promotions were punishment, so.
Like, but I mean, this time, like, Rutherford turned down like a bunch of promotions because he wanted to hang with his friends, and Mariner's getting promoted. And she's like, no, no, I am not getting promoted. And it's like, yes, you are. No, I'm not. Stop it.
I mean, it makes sense at this point. Like you fully expect, somebody like Boimler to climb the ladder really quickly, and because just like he's generally by the book when not overly influenced by Mariner. Like,
although,
as long as he's not on the same team as Mariner, things are probably going to go by the book.
Although, as we have learned, even then, he still fucks up, even going by the book.
But, yeah, so now all four of them are lieutenant junior grades. So, like, yeah, they get their own place. So it's interesting from a writing perspective because now Rutherford and Boimler are rooming, and I assume I don't know if we never saw what Mariner and Tindy are doing, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did what Rutherford and Boimler did, and just they had their own bunk that they 2-person room that they got. And so, but we never really got that information, which is, you can replace this, but one of the interesting things about the way things were when they were ensigns and, sort of in the open sort of cubbies is that they could have somebody walk by and it not be weird. Like, they could all be just sitting in their bunks, and somebody could walk by and just start a conversation, and that was very normal. Now they can just replace those sort of scenes with they're in the hallway going to work or going back from work or in the mess hall. They can move those scenes around, but it was kind of an interesting thing because you have such an open bunk system. You can just be there. And whose idea was to put a bedroom between two hollow suites?
Seriously. And the hollow suites that
holodecks rather.
Anna use. Oh god.
Holodeck, not hollow suite. I've been watching too many DS9 clips.
The holodeck that Tana uses. Oh. It's like, help! A cat has stolen my bow and arrows and my hat!
I'm Robin Hood now.
I'm Robin Hood now, bitch! Like, now I gotta go kill the sheriff of Nottingham because he's a fuckface. I love Tana.
And, yeah, which, speaking of Boimler's unfortunate rooms, like, he was, the Bassard collectors were just right there, and it's just like, and he's just like, oh, Rutherford's like, oh yeah, you just need to do what? Thinking about it, like, for Rutherford, that must actually be not too bad being near the nacelles, because that means if he can see the nacelle from his window, he's probably not far from from main engineering. Like, not all of his jobs go to main engineering, but there's always engineers in engineering, so like he probably reports there and then is given his assignment for whatever needs doing. But we don't really have Boimler doesn't have a set thing that he does. Especially since he just got promoted, so he doesn't really have a set thing to do. So he just kind of gets the command. Boimler and Mariner don't have a thing that they're doing specifically. They just kind of, oh, here's some, away missions. You kind of do that sometimes. Sometimes you do this, sometimes you do that. Like Tindy and Rutherford, they have more like focused things that they'll end up doing. Tindy's either doing medical or research, one of the two, so you know what she's doing. And Rutherford's engineering, so he's fixing something. So, But Boimler and Mariner are just kind of like, eh.
Well, they're Boimler definitely is on is like, I want to go do the command side of things. So he's like operations or something.
Operations, he'd be gold. He's just in the command section.
Well, yeah.
Maybe they moved around some things with the colors, like some operations or something. But I mean, occasionally we do see him on the bridge. Like occasionally he and Mariner are on the bridge, but it's not like all the time. So it might be just a thing he does. Okay, it's a cycling duty that he gets every once in a while. And I'm sure he enjoys being on the bridge. It's like, oh, I could just be on the bridge. Where the action is, where, the captain and Ransom will also be, and they can just, like, see me do good things, and then maybe you'll get a promotion.
He says, I am good boy. I do good boy things.
Yes. He's moving up the ladder. It's slow but steady.
Yes! Star Trek Prodigy has been rescued from cancellation by Netflix.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Netflix because they were canceled by
Paramount
and Nickelodeon canceled it. So fans were in an uproar because that was one of the best of the new series. And so it's bad. I just read the message there.
But yeah, so let's see what else is there. I mean, it's
There's
a fun
that one
episode.
guy that kept the...
Yeah, I forget his name already, despite them saying it 15 times.
And it's like, damn you!
Which that's something that it seems like something that they would.
You mean the one-off ensign?
Yeah. Yeah. They say one-off. You say one-off, but possibly he could come back down the line.
In Livik.
Livik, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the ensign with Mariner.
No. Yeah, no, it's about the engineering guy. There's a decent chance that guy comes back.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised he didn't die.
Livik will probably come back. The reason I remember his name is because Livik made him livid.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Good one.
Boimler Jr. I don't know what.
Yeah, like they said the one-off ensign's name like once.
Yeah.
Just like, I didn't catch his name.
Surprised he didn't get killed.
I know
too. Like, new random character going on a dangerous mission and he survives.
I know, right?
Yeah.
The only one who died was the tree guy.
No. And of course, it was the humans that fucked everything up.
What else is
an umbrella upside down?
Like, wait a minute. Something's not right here.
Whoopsie. I mean, whoopsie.
Let's see what else.
Yeah. So we've got a new status quo with the ranks. We got a new status quo with new living arrangements. So that should be interesting. We don't know if Mariner and Tendi moved in together, but that's a possibility.
Yeah. I
Or
love
well,
how
it depends also if Jennifer got promoted at some point.
yeah.
If
Jennifer,
she got promoted down the line, they could just bunk together.
Yeah.
That is true.
I love how Rutherford's like, great idea moving in together. Plus, we get a better room than if we bunked separately. It's like, oh yeah.
I didn't think of that.
Think of that.
Yeah.
That totally wasn't my plan to begin with.
Yeah, you get a better room, and yeah, which that's got to get interesting on, like, say you're putting a new vessel out, like say Voyager for instance. If you have if your room is a 2-person room, like, it's bad enough trying to get 2 humans that are compatible. Like, now you've got the possibility that you have Vulcan and a human, or this species and this species. And if you like trying to just thinking about the odd couple situations you could have, like you put an Andorian and a Vulcan together and they would fight viciously over the thermostat. Because Vulcan is really hot and Andoria is
Andor.
My tongue was going yeah.
Doria.
Yeah, no. It's
Yeah, but what you really should do, a Vulcan and a Klingon together.
Well, you don't have as many of those because they're not as common in the Federation. Though there was a Klingon engineer, so
yeah, the Klingon in there.
yeah, they're not as common.
Yeah.
Or the sort of the
Bolian?
No, I was thinking of one of the other founders of the Federation, and it's just my brain. Tellarites, yes. Just imagine just anybody with a Tellarite.
Oh God.
Tellarites,
no.
like
a Klingon and a Tellarite.
Like Vulcans are bad. Vulcans are bad enough. Like they're mostly they're clean and they keep to themselves and they're they're quiet. So like other than them wanting the thermostat up probably about 10 degrees, it's not a big deal. Andorians, same sort of thing. Reverse, they're a little more passionate, so they're gonna you might get a few more fights, but not that big a deal. But Tellarites would be just because they love mud baths, if I remember correctly. That's one of their cultural things, and they love to argue.
Their most common speech is argue. If you're not arguing with them, you're insulting them.
Yeah, so
being polite is an insult to them because it's showing passivity and dismissiveness.
Yeah.
So imagine a Klingon Tellarite. God, the neighbors, like,
yeah, just
the bunk next door would be like, what the fuck?
Just hope if you're on a ship with Tellarites on board, just hope there's an even number of them, and you can shove them both in one room, and they can sit there and argue with each other. Maybe replicate a nice mud bath for them, so they can just be in there and argue away, and nobody's gonna have to deal with them. Like, On the other side of all this is also that we know that Vulcan's sense of smell is very good, and so like them being on any ship other than a ship full of Vulcans is going to be a nasal experience.
I forget if it was no, I'm pretty sure it was the original series, but they have a special nasal
deadener.
Yeah, they have like an olfactory suppressant.
Yeah. They have to do that because otherwise they would be.
Yeah, I think Spock mentioned it.
And they did it again on Enterprise.
Yeah. But yeah, they have a olfactory suppressant for that.
God, that would come in handy a
Which
lot.
is also interesting if you think about it from a
Klingon, bro, because Klingons notoriously smell of blood and sweat.
Yeah, which I gotta imagine, like, if you're fighting the Romulans, if you ever get their shields down, drop stink bombs until you just have to beam stink bombs onto their ship. They'd be completely incapacitated because they're basically the same thing.
No. You know the classic putting flaming turds on the doorstep? Teleport the nastiest, stinkiest dump into the Romulan like bridge.
Oh, they're environmental systems.
Yes.
Past all the filters and cleaning so that it's going back out.
Just like no, just put it inside the air filter grate where it's like coming out.
Yeah.
So they're like searching around for it and they can't find it, and that's because it's just sitting there getting blown onto the bridge.
Or if you wanted if you wanted to prank the Romulans, okay, find something something they would love to inspect, like a photon torpedo, like something they would or something like that, or just not as but like something they would want to inspect. Okay, something that's small enough they can beam it aboard, pack it full of stink bombs, drift it into the neutral zone. Like it got lost from a bit of cargo. They go, they see it kind of drifting. They pick it up. They open it up. And then just just
transport a skunk on board.
I think this breaks some kind of Space Geneva Convention or whatever. Chemical warfare.
Yeah, but they don't have that anymore. The Geneva Convention doesn't exist because it's Federation now.
Yeah. And besides, this isn't like full-on chemical warfare. This is shenanigans.
Yes.
This is cheeky little shenanigans. This isn't, they're not deadly. It's just really unpleasant.
Ooh. Pour cat piss all over their seats. That stuff is impossible to get off, and it's oily, and it smells so bad. Trust me, I have a cat.
Yeah. But, yeah. Okay, well, enough about pranking the Romulans. But
I was thinking the Vulcans in this case. But yeah.
It works for either, because same basic biology.
Those green-blooded goblins.
But there's not much. I mean, it was. This is a lot of shifting the status quo, and sort of also.
That big bad was back, blew up the Romulans.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna throw my guess in it for when it reveals what it is.
Hmm?
Some kind of time travel shenanigans is my guess.
No, it's Moopsie. No. It's a Moopsie.
It's a Moopsie.
It's a Moopsie ship. They're looking for their lost comrade.
it kind of reminded me a little bit of the because I've been recently rewatching Voyager because I finished DS9, so now I'm on Voyager, and the race called the Trabe, who were the ones who enslaved the Kazon, which is why the Kazon are brutal like pirates now, because they were enslaved by the Trabe and they rebelled. And the Trabe ship that went to blow up the peace treaty, trying to make peace with the Kazons, it reminds, the way they fired at the meeting place reminded me of the ship that's blowing up things in lower decks. I think it's a lot more powerful than the Trabe ship, but
another ongoing story.
Yep.
You got Rutherford's engineering rival, and now you've got that. You also got that ship, and you've also got all the little things going on around that.
And Mariner's
yeah.
Mariner in Ransom. It's like, are you two breaking up? Yes, as colleagues. I'm gonna force it right now. It's like, I don't know what's going on here.
So two more things. Kind of two-parter. I bet Mariner loved being able to punch him in the face.
Oh yeah.
Repeatedly.
I'm sorry I knocked out all your teeth. It turned out I only needed 10.
And also, I hope it doesn't keep the teeth for long, because I'm not a big fan of those.
No, it's more, I think the way it is more kind of like when you get braces, you have to smile like that because it's irritating to the gums. So it'll probably be back to normal soon. It's
especially
just
since it's expensive to change the model and annoying to redraw everything, so just keep using the same model.
Yeah, I also, oh my gosh, his workout attire. That ballet suit he wore.
It's very TNG.
It really is. Totally reminiscent of
well, it's TNG, but that's mostly because that's very 80s.
Yeah, it's very much like Troy and Crusher working out.
Yeah.
I love at the beginning where it flashes to them and it doesn't show what they're actually doing. It's like, I'm not gonna make it. It's like, yes, you are. You've got this. No, just let me go. It's like, God, you're tense. Oh, Tana's been, it's like, well, did you try tapping the bed and going?
Yes, of course I did.
Of course I did. Those are a very interesting couple.
Well, this whole episode was fun, if a bit transition-y. It's very much transitioning it from just transitioning into a bunch of new status quos. And so
at least there is one status quo that's remained the same. Well, two. One, Ransom and his love of working out, and Tana and Shax still as
we did have one more change. We went from the Tucker tubes to the Billups tubes. 3.
Yes.
I don't know why we have those, but we have them.
I don't know what they're for, but I love him.
Okay, well, I think
I think they should do more with Billups, honestly.
Well, he's gotten an episode already. Yeah, so they can do more, yes, but
he was like background. He was sort of last episode with the Billups.
But okay, well, I think we've just about talked about everything I can think of.
Oopsie.
And